اهلا ومرحبا بكم في اوتوموبيل بوانتين. الوغ اليوم جينا للسويد مع فولفو تراكس représenté في تونس par Nordic Machinery وين on va plonger dans l'univers du camion. Alors, كما تعرفوا الماركة Volvo est très impliquée في sécurité routière et à l'occasion des Innovation Days 2018, Volvo Trucks nous a invités à découvrir ces nouvelles technologies. Un des premiers systèmes présentés par Volvo هو l'external steering. فما برشا des situations où un conducteur de camion يلقى روحه dans l'obligation باش يهبط باش يثبت ce qui peut passer. Donc c'est un système qui lui fournit une télécommande. ينجم يخرج من الكاميون et il n'a pas besoin d'un deuxième opérateur pour le diriger. Donc il a la télécommande et il commence à manœuvrer le camion depuis l'extérieur. Alors bien sûr, ce système il fait appel au système Volvo Dynamic Steering qui est au centre de toutes les opérations. Il attire le contrôle de l'accélération, le freinage, la direction et même l'éclairage. Une autre technologie de Volvo qui fait appel au système Volvo Dynamic Steering, c'est Personal Settings, qui met les modes de conduite sur les voitures. Donc c'est un système qui permet d'ajuster la rigidité de la direction en fonction des conditions de roulage. Il y a différents modes qui sont pré-programmés, mais le camion y a la possibilité, le conducteur, de chercher des paramètres entièrement personnalisables. Par exemple, quand on a un camion qui fait les travaux de construction, on aura tendance à choisir le mode Light Steering pour une direction beaucoup plus souple, alors que sur autoroute ou sur des chemins où on aura beaucoup de courbes, on pourra choisir le mode Responsive Steering. شوفوا معنا la démonstration نتاع le système d'aide au maintien dans la voie et Volvo Personal Settings.
So now I have to accelerate to 55 so that the system starts to work. Then I will get the white icon there. There we have it, meaning that now we see the lines, and if we slightly drift off, it turns green, and the system helps me not to
drift to the side.
And you're also getting vibration in the steering wheel?
I would if I go even further away, I would get the vibrations. If I turn one of the functions off, I will only have the vibrations.
Right.
But slightly later. Okay, so in low speed now, it's easy to demonstrate the effect of return and damping. It returns very slowly, even in default now. That should not be the case.
Right. Okay.
If I decide to have very low force pulling it back and very high damping so that the speed will be low, then it will return very, very slowly. But if I do the other way around, now I have a big force returning the steering wheel.
Yeah. I see, yes. Yeah.
And very low damping. Then it returns very much quicker.
Alors نعرفوا que Volvo c'est un précurseur في les systèmes de sécurité active. توا باش نشوفوا l'efficacité du système de freinage automatique d'urgence à 40 km/h. Un autre exercice consistait à deviner lequel des vélos était visible à partir du camion. La surprise, c'est que tous les vélos, dans tous les angles, étaient visibles avec les différents moyens les موجودين في الكاميون كيما les caméras, les rétroviseurs ou tous les équipements offerts par le camion. Donc توا باش نشوفوا une autre technologie من عند Volvo عيطوا لها البلاتونينغ. En fait, c'est trois camions qui se suivent, il y en a un qui est en première position. Il prend le lead, il apporte les informations نتاعو les deux autres camions, il les tape au moyen de caméras, de capteurs positionnés à le camion. Donc ils mettent étape en bas, les trois camions.
No hands.
On voit que le conducteur ماهوش حاط يديه على le volant, donc vraiment il n'a aucune intervention, que ce soit à l'accélérateur ou à la direction. C'est vraiment bluffant.
You got the distance here, that's set to 1.
Okay.
To 1
seconds, right? So I can change that to 5 seconds, so the distance are getting bigger. However, with platooning, the important bit is to get as close as possible.
Yeah.
Because that gives you the aerodynamics. So we are sort of in their slipstream. Now I don't push any pedals at all, and I don't touch anything.
Right.
Except when we go around the corner up here, then I'll steer it around. Because it's very tight and there's some motorcycles that's learning to drive.
Right.
Donc هنا عندنا موديل من عند فولفو avec un kit carrosserie aérodynamique, فيه des jupes latérales sur les côtés راتيو العجل, une partie positionnée ما بين la cabine ou la remorque et une autre partie en haut. الكومبينيزون هذه كل مع la motorisation hybride توصل تنقص jusqu'à 30% en consommation de carburant, وكي تبدا bien sûr une flotte de camions 30% de moins en consommation de carburant sur plusieurs camions, تعمل une économie كبيرة. Donc ça peut être intéressant. On a l'opportunité de نسوقوا un autre modèle de la gamme Volvo Trucks. C'est la gamme FH, le cheval de bataille de la marque. On a 460 chevaux, donc c'est un porteur. On a aussi une boîte double embrayage مش كان في الكراهب, surtout في الكمين aussi, c'est très utile pour ne pas perdre l'élan وقت يتعدي les rapports. On a une boîte automatique, alors là c'est complètement transparent le passage des rapports. So you said that in emerging markets like in Africa, for example, you want to develop sales, to grow. What measures Volvo Truck is taking to accompany these markets to have better infrastructure, like for example lines on the road that are missing?
Yeah, I mean, we are in dialogue with these markets, with the authorities in these markets, if we want to introduce functionalities to increase the safety, which I believe it's very important for emerging markets like in Africa, as you put it. Safety is always an issue for these emerging markets. We need to improve the safety, reduce the number of fatal accidents, and I think we've been invited for several forums now to have the dialogue how they can facilitate, or the authorities in these markets facilitate to introduce safety enhancement functionalities in these markets. So this dialogue is always in two ways, in communication. So we have the dialogue with not only the African markets, but even in the other part of the world, in Asia and the Middle East, to improve the traffic, generally speaking. How can we do? And we know that we have features, sometimes they are not maybe suitable for these markets due to the traffic conditions, due to the road conditions. That's why we work together to improve this, make it able to introduce the functions in these markets.
Okay. Are you, for example, providing funding through the Swedish government to discuss directly also with the Tunisian one to provide funding to make infrastructure?
Oh, this is out of my knowledge. I mean, it's difficult for me to say if we do this within the Swedish government and Tunisian government. I'm not able to answer that. But again, I think the aim is still saving lives, less accidents. This is I think the main issue that we are focusing on 100%.
Definitely, as we're seeing these techniques moving ahead now, like for instance the lane keeping assist. Well, it's based on that we actually have lines there, and there I can vision in the future, as our trucks are going down the road, they can actually see the lines. Now, if the lines are worn out, they can actually alert the government or the road keeper and say, sorry sir, but in that section there, the line's really bad or is covered with sand or snow or whatever. You need to fix that. So there we will get on the connectivity side, again, we will be flowing information and we can do some very smart things there if we really want to do it.
Yeah, because as a customer, if you have a country like ours in Tunisia,
Yes.
we have a lot of roads without lines. So if I want to buy a new truck from Volvo with a lot of technology, but if this technology is useless, why should I pay for it? That's why. So
Exactly. So it's the hen and the egg again, which comes first there, and at the same time we are of course pushing the technology to try to understand if it's a road or not. Like on winter roads, when you drive a lot, you finally break through the snow and you get two black lines. And now we're teaching the camera to understand that those are my new lane markings.
and are you cross verifying these kind of information on the road with the Google Maps or with GPS information on crossing?
You mean?
I mean when you have the cameras that are seeing the lines.
Yes.
Is it possible to verify if the information is right with GPS positioning?
Yeah. I'm sure you will be seeing techniques like that in the future.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Alors Rony Volvo va présenter un camion de collecte de déchets autonome اللي فيه un seul conducteur. شوفوا معنا la démonstration.
Okay, welcome everyone. You are in the heart of Gothenburg, and for this session you will witness a very exciting demonstration of an autonomous solution. I am Mikael Karlsson, I'm heading Autonomous Solutions in Volvo Trucks, and we are at this point developing different customer solutions in different segments together with customers, and this is one of our initiatives that we have run in the Volvo Group. It's a research project together with the customer that helps us understand how to run the new areas like automation with technology and business together. And we are very excited to present you today what is the benefits of automation, driving productivity and driving progress for Volvo Trucks. And by that I will hand over to Johan Thorfeldt, who will take you through a little bit more of the exciting technical details.
Thank you, and once again, welcome. My name is Johan Thorfeldt, and I will try to paint you a picture, tell you a story to illustrate the technology and how we can use it. And imagine that you have a refuse truck standing in a garage over there, and in the morning it gets its mission from the side control system telling it go out and empty refuse bins. Which refuse bins and where. So the operator, he will drive the truck manually through the complicated traffic situation in the central city and come out to a suburban area with houses. And there he will stop at the first refuse bin, which we will see over there. And at that point, then it's when it's getting exciting. He will step out of the truck and go into an autonomous mode. And with autonomous mode, I mean that the truck will be driving by itself. It will be no hidden driver, it's no hidden remote control, no hidden teleoperating. It's completely self-driving. And this technology can be used for many different purposes. Here, we are saying that we are moving from one trash bin to the next trash bin autonomously, so that the driver don't need to step in and out of the cab. But it also makes it possible for him to be in the right position. While the truck is reversing, he can be behind the truck. While the truck is going forward, he can be in front of the truck. So he is in the perfect situation to see if there is any problem, any obstacle or something like that. So he can always press the emergency stop button. This fact that he doesn't jump in and out of the cab also improves productivity since it goes a little bit faster. So this is a win-win-win situation. It's a better work environment. He doesn't jump in and out of the cab, which hurts his hips. And it's better productivity since it goes a little bit faster. He doesn't need to jump in and out of the cab, as I said. And it's also safer since he is in the right position to always have a good control of the truck, but the truck itself will also refuse to hit an obstacle. So it's a win-win-win situation. And here we are trying to illustrate that think that you are in a suburban area and you have a long road, and in the end of that road it's a dead end and you don't have the space to turn the truck around. So then either you need to reverse in or reverse out. And reversing these kind of heavy trucks in a suburban area is tricky. So here the truck will do it for him and he can move along with the truck, always being in a safe position. So how does this work then? Well, you can see the small black boxes in the corner of the truck. That's LiDARs. And they look on the surrounding environment at all times and compare that with a map so we know where it is. But it also calculates its position by calculating the wheel speed and steering angle. And it uses a GPS system. And they're using accelerometers and inertia measurement units. So we calculate the position in many different ways. And as long as they are in agreement, we are confident that we know where we are. However, if they are not in agreement, then we need to not drive the truck. So you can also see on the side of the truck there is a green light that starts to flash. And that's when we are in a safe mode for the operator to work around the truck. Then in that mode we use the parking brake. And we use the parking brake because the parking brake stays engaged. Even if you lose electricity, air pressure, whatever, the parking brake stays engaged. So in that sense it's a very safe system.
Et pour finir, on va découvrir le camion 100% électrique de Volvo. Alors, Ronized, c'est un camion de collecte de déchets. Volvo a un partenariat avec une société qui m'a dans la plupart de ses projets. Et c'est un camion qui va être lancé en 2019. On remarquera que Volvo a choisi de commencer avec la gamme FL pour les camions 100% électriques. C'est un peu normal puisque ce sont les camions les moins lourds de la gamme. Les packs des batteries seront proposés en plusieurs puissances en fonction des besoins de chaque utilisateur.
Donc là, on a l'opportunité de dans un des premiers camions tout électriques, on a une Volvo, d'avoir une démonstration de la puissance du couple qui peut être produit dans les camions.
Alors les atouts mis en avant par Volvo, c'est surtout le silence de fonctionnement, mais aussi le fait que ce soit un camion zéro émission.
When I use it's almost like an engine brake, but it's a regenerating brake. It regenerates some energy back to the batteries. So it's charging while braking.
When you brake or when you release the accelerator?
When I release the accelerator.
Puisqu'on était à Göteborg, le berceau de Volvo, on a également pu assister à la dernière étape de la course Volvo Ocean Race, une des courses à voile les plus extrêmes, où on y en comprend un peu plus la philosophie de Volvo, une entreprise qui n'a pas peur des défis et qui encourage le dépassement de soi.
Sprint, it's all on the line. Great start at the windward end from Dongfeng, from Sunhungai Scallywag and from Vestas 11th Hour Racing.
Unbelievable start line. Team Brunel, Mafray locking horns. We knew that was going to happen. Dongfeng race team managed to stay out of that fray, and the first point has got to go to Bauer-Becking on board Team Brunel. Mafray got barged out of the line. They've had to loop back round, and they now start this short sprint leg with so much at stake on the back foot.
Super close. Akzo Nobel actually pushing them up, a little bit of a luffing match.
She's all on down here between Akzo Nobel and Dongfeng. Literally a metre between the windward runner of Akzo Nobel and Dongfeng.
Brunel absolutely pedal down. Look at them go. There's plenty of breeze on here.
We're now on an upwind beat. It's short, sharp chop and the bows are bouncing out of the water all the time. We've already seen a couple of the boats not being able to hold the clear air and having to tack out.
Big night, big, you know, obviously the strong wind is supposed to hold, the waves should get bigger, and it's going to be very tactical, and they're going to be making these choices about lanes and do they stack, do they just get a quick clearing tack, you know, what mode do they choose true upwind or just a click faster to get around somebody, and then the shifts are going to be in play as well, because remember there's plenty of land around right here, so plenty to happen tonight.